Hey y'all. All right. So let me just go ahead and start off by saying I do apologize to you all because I was supposed to have already put this video out, but due to my not paying attention, I deleted the prior video that was supposed to reveal what I was going to do with this chassis. So, my fault. Okay. Be that as it may, hey, let's move on. So, this, as you saw in the previous video, this is the chassis I went and bought. Um, this did have a 39 to 47 Dodge truck cab on it. Okay, that's why I said it's a 39-ish frame. The body that was on there, the entire truck did not have a title, and the truck was pretty roughed up. So finding stuff like, identification, telling you what it is kind of hard, kind of difficult to do. Okay, so what am I going to do with this? Now, some of y'all had some really good guesses. Some of y'all said rat rod. Some of y'all said gasser. Some of y'all were saying other things like asking if this came with any sheet metal or any cab or body work or anything like that. No, it did not. So I'll just go ahead and answer that right now. Now, while your all's guesses are very good and are really good ideas too, what I plan on doing is going to be very different. And I will go ahead and show you without giving you any further ado. So, I'm getting this book right here. I want to take this frame and build something like this. If you look at this, look at this. Now this is a Fiat, and being driven by Felice Nazaro. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but I'm not going to build a direct replica or copy of this, okay? So just, okay? But I love this style of race car. Probably without the chain drive. But yeah, this thing is really cool. Let me show you another picture here. And see. There we go. You can see this pretty bare bones, open kind of race car. This might be a little bit later. Like we can see this one is even more bare bones, more open, and this is more like the style that I'm going to go after. Now, so got some more pictures here real quick. Here's another one here. This is a Locomobile that was a early American manufacturer back in the real early days. They didn't hold out very long, but this is going to wind up something like this right here. And this is pretty important. This is a Packard. They call it the Gray Wolf. And the reason why I noted this is because I think this was on Daytona or Ormond Beach, Florida. If you look, it's pretty impressive. What I really like is these tubes that seem to run up and down through here. I think that was the radiator for this thing. I mean, look how the front end, the nose was so pointy and everything. I think they were even thinking about aerodynamics at this point, which was pretty amazing, really. I love this cloth piece here, kind of mimicking a door. I may do something like that if I can. So, now this Simplex, right here is really cool. And if we look, you can see all the attributes. You know, there's almost no body work, just the hood, the radiator grill, the firewall right here. We see a steering wheel. This is right-hand drive. I'm not going right-hand drive. It's going to be left-hand drive. We see the seats right here. Then there's a fuel tank, and then spare tires. We even see like a thing here that can be used to help step up into the car. I guess I could use that to do that. Yeah. So here we go. Yeah, whoop. Don't lose my balance here. But I don't think I'm going to be sitting that high. I don't think I'm going to need a footrest, but I'll keep that in mind. This whole car is just so cool. But look at this kid right here. I like that. The kid just looking there, and he's probably getting his own ideas about, maybe he wants to drive a race car someday. Now, you see here, you see a Mercer racing car right here. And has a 300 cubic inch engine. And then we see up here, we see Ralph De Palma in this very early race car. I think these early race cars, to me, I think they're so cool. Now, here's going to be something that's going to be really, really maybe hard for some people to understand, is that, yes, this thing's probably not going to be terribly, terribly fast, but that's not really the point here. It is going to be driven on the street, so it's going to have lights and maybe some mirrors and, all of that kind of DOT approved kind of thing. But the big part here, the big thing that's going to make this really fun is that it's going to be that being like this Fiat, the sensation of speed is just going to be astronomical. I mean, you're going to think you're doing, 75 or 80 miles an hour, and you look down and you're doing 40 or 45. So there you go. Now, here is one other thing I want to do, and it's this right here. And see this car, the company is called American Underslung. And if you see, here's the axle. Okay, there's the axle. We see it going across. We see the frame is actually underneath the axle. See, right back here. Okay, so the center line of the axle is above the frame. Now, these use like really, really big tires. They're like, 30, I think they're like 33 inch and things like that. So me using these tires, probably not going to happen because they're probably going to be really super expensive. But I've been doing measuring, been doing checking, and I've been looking at some 16-inch tires that I can use. Now, these are just rollers. The ones that are on here are just rollers. So I can use some 16-inch tires and wheels that's going to be a lot better for this. They're going to be taller. They're going to be narrower than this. And they're going to allow the chassis to not drag on the ground, which is going to be very important. So, yeah, this frame is going to become something like this. Okay, but it's going to have the frame is going to be under the axles. And how am I going to do that? Well, this cross member is probably going to get cut out and flipped. It's going to stay in the same general location, but it's going to get flipped around. Same goes for that. This one, I may replace this one altogether because this one has some frame rusting going on. There's a crack. I don't know if you can see it or not. There's a crack right in there. You see it there? And then if you look over here, the rusting issues are really serious. It's sealed on the bottom. Now, this cross member, I think I can leave it alone. I don't think it's going to drag because I've been measuring and with the tires and wheels I'm wanting to use, which is going to be something similar to this, but it's not going to be open exposed spokes. I'm going to use a modern wheel. I'm actually, and that's where you all are going to come in, okay? Because I need your all's help. So what this is going to be is I'm going to have like some aluminum covers, wheel covers over these. And what I need is from you all, if you can help me with this, and I think you can, is if you can help me find a set. I'm going to need 4 of the Ford Crown Victorias, 4 spare steel wheels. Yeah, spare wheels from those. So the spare tire wheel, the actual rim or wheel, is what I need from them. And I'm going to need 4 of them. So if you run across any, you know where there's any, let me know. And, especially if they're anywhere close to East Tennessee. So anyway, yeah, I mean, there's going to be some repairing of things like this right here. It's cracked over there too. I'm going to reform these frame rails right here and work on them a lot to make them a lot more like these. Basically, when I flip this chassis, I'm going to be taking the leaf springs and axles out from underneath it. And then this is all going to get flipped over. I'm not reusing this. Of course, this is junk. And so what I'm planning on doing is I've got a different kind of steering system I'm going to use. It's going to use it's not going to use the steering box. Okay, I've got a different box I'm going to use altogether. But when I flip this frame over, yeah, these are going to get cut out, flipped over, and reused. That one's going to get replaced, cut out and replaced. And then the axles are going to be reattached in this orientation the way they are right now. They're not going to get flipped. They're going to stay in this orientation like this, because I think if I flip them, there would be like untold amounts of problems with alignments and all kinds of other issues. So, I mean, if you look right now, especially here in the front, even with these just rollers on here, we can see the tire is actually taller than the frame. So I probably will be getting rid of the tubular shock mounts. I won't need those pretty much anymore. So, and the spare tire mount is going to go next. I've already pulled off the old gas tank. As you see it right there. And the exhaust system that had to go too. So, also too, this frame has got some other problems as well, as we see right here. And then this side has got an accompanying little issue right there. So I am going to be pretty busy doing a lot of stuff, getting things ready. Basically, when I flip this, and the axle is now going to be up here over the frame, the engine is going to be in this general area right here. The engine, this is all going to be Mopar powered, so there's no, maybe the only thing I'm going to use that's not Ford is maybe the wheels. Transmission, I don't know, because I want to go manual transmission, and I don't really have anything that's suitable for this. I don't need it. I've got I've got an MP 435 manual transmission of all things. But if you don't know, that's like this granny 4-speed, low range, super low range transmission would be pretty unsuitable for this. So So that's another thing you can help me with. If you can drop down the comments down below, what kind of manual transmission do you think I ought to use? Okay, so it's got to be a manual transmission. You know, if you've got a suggestion, something, of course I'm going to appreciate a good laugh too, just like anybody else. But if you got a good suggestion for what you think I should use, drop it in the comment section below. I'd love to hear it. Okay. Um, of course, there is the BorgWarner T5. That's another suggestion, another idea. I've already thought of that. Furthermore, another thing you can help me with. Let's get back to the books here. I just seen this and I thought this would be kind of cool to see. That just really streamlined aerodynamic kind of design on that Dodge panel, urban panel. That's what they called it there. Anyway, but yeah, this is what supposedly this frame is for. Now, like I said, I've seen pictures of 39 to 47 Dodge truck frames, and this was it. Now, this rear axle, this is going to get replaced. Got a Mopar 8 3/4. It's going to go in here. I am going to keep the front axle, but the rear axle, it's going to go the way of the dodo. Most of these leaf springs are probably going to get pared down to where I can get a pretty good ride. So some of these leaves they're going to go too. These overload springs, which I don't think are factory, they're going to go as well. This is supposed to be a half-ton frame, but it's kind of a heavier half-ton. Let's just say that, or at least it was made a heavier half-ton by somebody. Now, being that this is going to have like a radiator grill shell, something like this, if anybody knows of anyone anywhere really that has something like this that is for sale, it doesn't have to be 1917. I mean, I'm thinking anything 1930 and earlier that can be modified to look like this. Now, of course, don't be suggesting something that is like ultra rare and expensive and hard to come by. Stuff like that, no. I don't want to be hacking something up and taking that away from somebody. What I want to do is get a hold of something like this that's maybe beat to death, and then when I'm modifying it to make it look like this, then it's like, well, it's no big loss. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So anything 1930 and earlier, that I can make look like this, let me know. If so that's a couple, 2-3 things I'm going to need your help with. The wheels, I can probably come up with them, but if somebody knows of anybody, let me know. Of course, the transmission, definitely give me a suggestion. And radiator grill shell, let me know. I would definitely love to know more, if somebody's got one and they're reasonably priced. Of course, there's always going to be people out there who wants, $5,000 for something and it's beat to death and looks like it's been run over by a monster truck. So, but anyway, all right. Enough of me rambling. I thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate that. Oh, I wanted to say we are now up over 3,000 subscribers. It is amazing. And I thank you so much for that. Really, seriously, I do. Really appreciate that. So, thank you so much. God bless. Have a great one.